Hi everyone, Stjepan here. I'm going to play another training game. By the way, I would like to remind you that it's lesson time at 6 p.m. Croatian or Central European time. That would be 12 a.m. Eastern time. So Milan and I are going to be streaming a live lesson. You can join us, and there's a link in the description below. Okay, we are playing a knight f6 Scandinavian, and I've played several things here. I've played bishop b5 recently, and I've also, of course, played d4 or knight f3. I think I'm going to try this bishop b5 idea now, although I'm not sure. Okay, I will try it. I mean, I've been looking at this move briefly, and I found some ideas, but I'm not sure. Okay, b5, bishop b3. Now a5 is the main move, and after a4, okay, the combination of b5 and bishop g4 is new to me. Usually a5 is played and then a4 is played. So here f3 is what you do against bishop g4. So I don't see why f3 would be incorrect here. So I'm going to play it. Someone commented yesterday that I waste too much time on opening moves, and I do agree about that. However, when I'm unfamiliar with the opening, I don't like losing any opening advantage I had very early on. Okay, so he wants to recapture the pawn. The only way to try and save it would be to play knight c3, but then he can play b4. Should I play c4? I don't think I should play c4. d4 seems like a sensible option. Knight e2 also seems fine. Again, I'm trying to not waste too much time, but I'm unfamiliar with this variation that he'd played with b5 and bishop g4. So maybe I can just throw in queen e2 first, and then if knight takes, I can take on b5. What does he do against queen e2? Of course, it will be hard to develop my knight, but if I can save this pawn, and of course after queen e2, if he plays something like bishop h3, then I can play c4 or knight c3. Okay, I'm going to play queen e2 because I know it's a weird move, but maybe it helps me keep my material. Also prevents bishop to b7, which is a move he would like to play. I know it's greedy, but maybe it works. After b5, bishop b3. Oh no, okay, bishop g4 is the main move. I actually messed up two positions. a5 is the second most common, but I remember it better because I'd been preparing it, and f3 is correct, and then bishop c8 is correct. And then I don't seem to remember what the move is. And I don't think it's queen e2. Can I just throw in a4 now? I think I could. I'm going to play quickly because I'm not sure what the theory is, so I'll try to play normal moves quickly instead of playing okay moves slowly. Okay, now my idea was to play c4 And if he takes en passant, I get to open up my bishop, or I get to play knight c3. I think it's better to just play knight c3 and then defend my pawn. So this was the idea behind a4, that if he pushes b4, I can play c4, takes en passant, and then take with the knight. That way I keep the pawn. The question is, do I keep the pawn? Because he has bishop b7 in that position. This is getting messy already. But maybe I have some queen e4 tricks if bishop b7. If you can hear something, it's my dog, and she is doing something weird, and then Lucia is shouting, "What are you doing?" I mean, if he takes, at least I'm developing my knight with tempo, and he has an isolated pawn on a6. However, I have doubled isolated pawns on the d file. Okay, he doesn't. Okay, so now I could create a passed pawn with d4, but I don't like that. d4, c takes d5, and c5. I could also just take the pawn. But I think it's a bit too greedy, because I have to start developing my pieces. So d4, cd5, c5. Yeah, that's not too good. That's not too good. Okay, maybe I can hold with takes and then d3. That seems kind of risky. Takes, knight takes, yeah, but then he has knight d4. Okay, let's see what happens on a weird move like queen e5. What can he do? Queen e5. That's too much. I cannot allow knight d4, so I have to do something about that. So probably keeping my pawn over there is a good idea. And also queen e5 gives me the option to play knight e2, but he has knight d7. Okay, I'll go for queen e5 because I don't think... I mean, it is a bit too much. Running into knight d7, but it's not really about keeping the pawn, it's about playing knight e2 and castling. Because I want to be controlling the d4 square very badly, and I also want to get my king to g1 very badly. Okay, he takes. Can I take? I'm going to take. If he plays bishop b7, I think I just go d6. I mean, my position is far from ideal, but from okay, offering a queen trade, I'm very happy to see this, because his bishop is now a bad piece over here, and it's going to take him some time to develop it. I am going to lose this pawn, but what's the best way to lose this pawn? What's the best way to lose this pawn? I don't know how to try and keep it. I don't see a way to keep it, so I'll just play knight e2, which is the normal move, I guess. I also could have played d4. I'm not really trying to play knight f4 defending the pawn because he has g5. Although, that could be interesting. Knight f4, g5, knight h3, and if he takes... Okay, he doesn't do that straight away, so... Now, maybe... I have time for knight d4, but he has time for knight c5. So I feel that I have to play d4 at this point to prevent knight c5. I'm not too concerned about him taking on d5. I mean, it's an extra pawn, and for the moment it's not such a good extra pawn. So let's just get my king to safety. I mean, I think the queen trade was a bad decision for him strategically. Because now... Can I start developing my pieces now? Yes, I can. Okay, so... Now with bishop b7, I have a great square for my knight on c4 and on e4. So I don't think I'm worse. And maybe I can even throw in knight f4 here, although I'm not sure. Can I throw in knight f4? He plays g5. Yeah, no, I cannot, because his bishop is on e7, and he will he will be attacking my knight. The question is which square is better, e4 or c4? I think I'll play knight e4. For the moment, when he takes on e4, I don't think he has any useful squares for his knight. Apart from... Okay, he doesn't take straight away. But this gives me enough time for a counter attack. I think bishop f4 is a good move. Okay, I will play it because it develops a piece with tempo. And it finally connects my rooks. And also because I'm 5 minutes down on the clock, so I have to hurry up. We are both left with a weakness. But I think my knight on e4 is better than his knight on b6. And the good news for me is that once he wins the d5 pawn back, then my b3 bishop is open. And now he has a problem now. If he plays rook d8, then I can play rook c1, threatening rook c7. Which would be a great square for my rook. Okay, now he takes. So, okay, I'm going to take with the bishop and then take on d6. And I don't see how that could be wrong. Unless he takes here first, but then I just win a piece. Okay, now I have a problem. If I take on d6 with the knight, he takes my bishop. If I take on d6 with the bishop, he takes my knight. And he's defending everything. Let's just make sure. Bishop takes d6. Knight takes e4, and if bishop takes e7, then knight takes e7. Wait. Maybe it does work. Bishop d6, knight e4, bishop e7. Bishop takes d6, knight takes e4. Bishop takes e7. So that's equal. On pieces, I'm one pawn up. His knight is hanging, my bishop is hanging. I think it works. I'm going to play it. Maybe I'm missing something, but... yeah, I don't think I've missed anything. We will see. Okay, knight takes knight, bishop takes bishop. His knight is hanging, my bishop is hanging. If he moves his knight, I can take the rook. So that's fine, I didn't blunder. I think it's fine. Okay, I have 6 minutes, he has 10 minutes. Okay, take. Okay, so we're a pawn up. It's not a very good pawn, but it's a pawn. And my goal is to play knight b7, knight c5. That would be a strategic ideal, I think, in this position. Okay, so let's do that with tempo. Let's hope he plays rook d7 here. That would mean I get to do it with another tempo. And how can he undermine? Well, he has to move the knight away first from d5 and then take the pawn on d4. So worst case, in 2 moves I return the pawn. But okay, rook d7, nice. Okay, so I got to do my plan with tempo. So all I have to do now is make sure that my knight is protected, that my pawn remains on b2, so that his knight doesn't have the c3 square, because that would be crushing. He could play b3, knight e3, knight c2. That seems very nice. And I should probably consider playing king to f2 to defend against both rook e7 and knight e3. Okay, so now how good is king f2 in this position? King f2, knight e3. I have to watch out for knight c2 forks. King f2, knight e3, rook c1 is the only square. But then my other rook is kind of bad. So I don't think I want to allow that. But I can move my knight away. How can I defend e3? I don't think I can, so I'm going to play king f2. At least his knight on e3 blocks his rooks. And my plan is then to play knight g3, knight e4. Okay, he doesn't play knight e3, that's nice. So now, can I continue with my plan of going knight g3? I can, because on knight e3 I have rook c1 and then knight e4. And I would just love to trade a pair of knights, because then my king is safer. Also, knight e3 doesn't work now, because on knight c2 I can take on e7. Okay, my intention was not to play knight f5, but knight e4. So now I'm happy. Now I think I have a good position without too many issues. Because if I'm challenging the e-file and also contesting the e4 square 3 times, and for the moment defending e3, then I don't think he has any serious counterplay. Do I want to trade all the rooks? I think I do. So takes, rook e1, king takes, knight e3, king f2, knight d1 check, winning the pawn on b2. That's not good. So let's try knight e4, which was my original intention. Because then, if he moves the knight away somewhere, I can play knight to d6, forcing him to trade the rooks. And if he takes, I can take with the pawn, creating two connected passed pawns, or one protected passed pawn on d4. Okay, he takes. What do I take with? I take with the pawn, I think. Take with the pawn, and he then plays knight f4. And then I can play king to g3, and I think that works. Okay, king to g3. What is the problem with king to g3? I don't see a problem with king to g3. So I'll play it, and I'll play it quickly. Over defending the e4 pawn. Okay, do I chase this guy away? I think I do. The question is, where does it go? The other question is, should I just get my rook into play first? I think the answer to that should be yes. Defending d3 some more. He does have knight d5, but I don't think that's such a big deal. I shouldn't get low on time again like in the previous games. So now this is a healthy pawn up. Okay, I'm kind of happy to see this. He does get the square for his knight on d5, but now I have two connected passed pawns. Okay, a plan. I need a plan. My pawns should remain where they are on the king side, so that if g4 is played, I don't have to move my king. I kind of like rook to c1, challenging the c file. I don't think my rook is as necessary on d1 now. And maybe even playing for knight b3, trying to get the a5 pawn. Okay, he's just pushing. So what does he do against knight b3, I wonder? I am going to play it. Because I also have rook c5 now. Okay, I'm going to play rook c5 first and try to claim the c file. Okay, king. Where do I move my king? If I play king f2, then knight f4 comes with a fork here. So king e2, I think, but that comes with check. So I have to go back. I still think that's better than walking into the fork. Okay, and now he wins my pawn, but I defend my rooks. Okay, let's do this. Cut his knight off. I don't know. I'm going to take here because I don't think he can queen straight away or anything like that. And also I need to read out my knight to c4. Okay, knight c4. I'm going to play it. Get my knight to e3. So if g3 I have to take on f3. What is that position like? I think I'm defending everything. Luckily he doesn't have rook f7 now because knight d6. But of course that's completely irrelevant if he queens. They always have some ideas with e6 and then rook g5 check to take the g4 pawn or the g3 pawn, depending on where the pawn is. And I have knight d6, knight e4 ideas to pick up the pawn if it's on g6. And I have knight d6, knight e4, knight f6 check ideas to either grab the exchange or the pawn on g4. So I mean, I have 3 passed pawns. He has 2 passed pawns. This is not going to be easy, whatever happens for either side. Maybe dragging out my rook to c5 was not a good idea. Maybe I could have used the time better somehow. Can I get in king e3 in this position? I honestly think that getting my king closer would be the most important thing in this position. So I'll try to do it. Maybe it's a bad move, but I feel that my king can help hold off these pawns, and maybe my knight can enter the position via d6 and e4. Okay, attacks my rook. So let's just play rook d5, and then on rook c8, b3. Okay. Can I win the pawn now? Can I play king f4? No, that's too risky. But I can play... No. Knight d6 runs into rook d8 unless I have rook c5. Maybe he has... Okay, I'll play it. I don't want to get short on time. This is a tempo move, so I want to play it aggressively. Ooh, unless he has time for g6. But I don't think he has time for g6 because knight e8, g7, knight f6 check. Okay. Now. Knight e4, knight e4, king e4, g6 takes, h takes, rook takes, g3, excuse me, H takes, rook takes f3, rook takes f3, king takes f3. I think I'm holding. I'm not sure, but I think I'm holding this. He has to take, I feel. Because I'm threatening. I'm not threatening knight f6 because he can play rook takes f6, but I'm threatening the knight. And if he plays knight e6, then knight f6, rook f6, pawn f6, knight somewhere check, and rook e6. I think I'm fine. Oh, maybe I could have played e6 in that position. No, but he takes with check. Okay, of course I don't have knight f6 because it's defended against several times. So what can I do? I think I can play a rook g1 because I'm holding everything. At least preventing g3 for the moment. f2 is prevented because I play knight f2. And if he plays that, then okay, g3 is still defended. So now I need a good move. I think king f2 is good. Unless, yeah, I sort of have to prevent rook c8 and him coming into the position. Okay, so I will play here and just try to hold and then push my pawns. I also wanted to liberate my d pawn. So now, since everything is prevented, g3 is prevented and f2 is prevented. Okay, I will take it. Yeah, but f2 doesn't work. Does it work? Takes f2. Check. No, it doesn't work. Because I have knight g3. So f2 takes with check, king takes. Okay. He did not go for that. Oof, okay, now I'm fine. Now I should win. Okay. Let's just grab the pawn. Has a check here. Okay, let's force him to defend with knight h3, and then I play. Okay. Ah, no! Why do I have to be a moron? Why do I have to be a moron? Always. He offers a draw. Yeah, I'm not gonna accept the draw because I'm probably the only one who can win here, but I just blundered a completely winning position. Okay, yeah, how could I miss that? Sorry for being silent. I'm trying to play this as best as possible. I mean, I shouldn't. There's probably no way for me to lose unless I blunder my rook, but I can still win. So let's try to win. Yeah, I don't know how to win this. I don't think I can win this. But I feel that I should try nevertheless. checks me, and then I have to move up. He probably plays rook f3 here. Sorry for being completely silent, almost, but he can still make a mistake, so I'm trying to play active moves. I feel that if I can get my king to a5 somehow, then the position should be... Ah, okay. Let's see his technique. Of course, this is a draw. But let's try anyway. Yeah, this was probably smart play from my opponent. Let's see if he knows the opposition. Okay, let's see where I made all of my mistakes. Let's see. Why is the engine on? I don't want the engine on. Okay, so I think I wasn't better. Let me just see this. Okay, queen e2 is the main move. a6 and now okay, a4 has never been played. Knight c3 is the move. Okay. Oh, actually, Mladen Zelic and Zelčić Robert played this. These are Croatian grandmasters. I know them. Okay, so a4 is a bad move, and here queen e5 has to be dubious. And queen d6 also has to be dubious. I think if he doesn't trade queens, he should have a very pleasant position. For example, here. And now I was planning to play d6, and he can take with the queen, and then at least he has traded queens with tempo because this, and I gave the pawn back. Okay, knight e2 I feel is okay, d4 is okay. Here I probably was slightly better. Okay, here, yeah, knight e3 is probably critical. a5, I think he kind of lost his edge, and here I should be better. And where did I go wrong? So I probably... Okay, probably rook c1 is a mistake. Probably I have to try and hold off his pawns with something like g4. And then I feel he has to take and probably plays here. And then I challenge him. Probably something like this, and then tries to push. No, but yeah, now I can win g5. So here and here. Yeah, I should have played something like g4. Rook c1, I'd completely neglected what he was doing. Still, I think h4 was probably good. Because in this position, I'm, well, holding. And I got destroyed by this fork idea, basically. And rook c1 undefended the d3 square, so rook c1 was definitely the mistake. Okay, h4, and then rook c5 also. Probably I should play h3 here to try and hold him. But okay, rook c5, g4. And yeah, now after knight f4, I think I've given up everything I had. Unless I can try this, but I doubt it. I think black is just winning here. So okay, king d2, he takes. Yes, and in this position, king e3 could also be a mistake. What if I try king knight e3? He probably plays here and I go here. Here, here, here. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. So king e3 was fine. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know where I made a mistake. This is completely winning. And then if I don't play rook f1, of course. So I need to play anything else here. And game over. Yeah, okay, let's just check that with an engine. Okay, +3. Yeah, this is over. Let's see this position. f3, queen e2. Okay, c4 is the bad move. And then queen e5 is dreadful. Takes here. Yeah, queen d6 is bad. And now I'm fine. Yeah. So this is +2 for me, +1.5, +2.5. Yeah. +3.5. So I played well until I didn't. Oh, e6 here. That's a nice move. Rook c1 is the mistake, but it's not so bad. Okay. King e2 is the blunder. Well, yes, I can defend everything. I can just defend both my pawn and my rooks. What was I thinking? King e2 is just a bad move, allowing him to equalize. Still, +2 again. Equal again. King e3 is... This was a tough position. Okay, and after knight d6, the position is -1.5. So he could have taken. Let's see. Yeah, he can just queen. Knight e4 was just horrible. And then knight h7, he returns the favor. Yeah, rook f1 was the final. Okay. Okay, I'm going to say that even though it was a bad game, I found a hole in my repertoire which I need to work on. I actually started working on that, but I need to study it properly because I've never played bishop b5. This is the first time I've ever played this move against the Scandinavian, and I almost got taught a lesson. So I think it's better to go unprepared in a training game than in a tournament game. Okay, so remember to join Milan and I for the lesson. You can find the link below. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something from the game. And again, thank you for all the feedback in the previous comments. And I would appreciate it if you gave it again. I read all the comments and they help me, even if they are critical and bad towards me. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.